Aire Leanaí, and Minister, I asked my question in the context of our 21st year of direct provision, and I know your commitment to ending it. So specifically, I'm asking you for the status of the review of the projected timelines for the implementation of the White Paper to end direct provision and to establish a new international protection supports service, the person who is carrying out the review, the expected timeline for completion and publication of the revised implementation plan.
Thanks, Deputy Connolly. Since the publication of the White Paper to end direct provision, my department has put a very significant focus on delivering the new model of accommodation and supports for international protection. And this has included the recruitment of a team dedicated to drive the implementation of the new programme, the establishment of government structures in the form of a programme board and external advisory committee, the development of an integration programme to support the principle of integration from day one, and the development of a policy for income support payments that applicants will receive in phase 2, and the launch in February of a dedicated website with updates on the progress of implementing the White Paper. A new integration fund offering grants to civil society organisations for projects supporting the integration of international protection applicants is also currently in development and being launched in recent weeks. However, as deputies will appreciate, the war in Ukraine has had an unavoidable impact on timelines for the implementation of the White Paper, and staff in my department were temporarily diverted to fulfil Ireland's obligations, including members of the White Paper transition team. Upwards of 39,000 Ukrainians have sought protection in Ireland under the Temporary Protection Directive, and as I said earlier, my department is currently providing accommodation to 28,000 of those. A review of the White Paper projected timelines for its implementation is currently underway among senior officials in my department and the International Protection Support Service transition team. And this is a complex exercise. It'll take account of the delays that have arisen as a consequence of the crisis in Ukraine and the very significant increase in the number of international protection applicants. In the coming weeks, I'll be in a position to provide an update on the review's outcomes. However, it is currently planned that the transition team will move ahead to operationalise parts of the new system in late 2022. And key elements of the White Paper process, including strengthening supports at local level and involving NGOs more fully in the delivery of services, have become even more important as a number of new international protection applicants increases. So notwithstanding the impact of the Ukraine crisis and the increase in IP applicants, implementation of the new model is and will continue to be a key priority for me and my department.
Minister, I realise that you're under extraordinary pressure given the crisis and the amount of people that have come in from the Ukraine. It's almost 40,000, 38,789. But it would be remiss of me not to point out that we've had numerous reports. We had the McMahon recommendations, you know well, in 2015. We've had the Catherine Day report. We have various ombudsman's report, and we've had the White Paper, and we're into our 22nd year of direct provision. And now we have the completely unacceptable situation where we're distinguishing between different types of asylum seekers and people coming into our country. And so while we take in the Ukrainians, and we've all thanked you for that with open arms, by comparison, we've taken in a minute number of people from Afghanistan. I understand it's as low as 700 and something. Sorry, I beg your pardon, it's even less than that. The Afghan admission programme has a limit of 500 persons, and they must be joining family. I'm out of time. I come back in my second set.
We have Ukrainians under the Temporary Protection Directive, we have international protection applicants, and we have refugees accepted under the IRPP. And sometimes these all get jumbled in, so I'll just speak to the IRPP programme. We've taken in, I think, at this stage, 3,900 Syrians under IRPP 1 and 2. There is an ongoing commitment to receive more Syrians in as refugees. A group of 80 came in May of this year, and more will come in later on this year. My department has taken in about 600 Afghans under the IRPP that is separate to the Afghans admissions programme that you spoke to, which is a scheme run by the Department of Justice. We've also, of course, taken in a number of Eritreans Ethiopians as a result of the conflict there. These are small numbers in comparison to the scale of these crises, Deputy, but we do bring these people in directly. They have full refugee status and all the protections that offer. And I think when you compare what we've done to other European countries, I think our numbers stand favourably.
No, I don't think so, Minister, and I don't think you can stand over the distinction in the way we're now treating applicants from different countries. We've simply created a division that's unacceptable. I understand COLAF have written a detailed letter to you. I would like to know if you've responded to that, and they've COLAF, C-O-M-H-L-A, it's a detailed letter, and they've written to you back on the 20th of June, appealing to Minister O'Gorman to address new and long-standing human rights concerns and so on. And they echo the recommendation from the Roundtable on Migration in Our Common Home, chaired by Social Justice Ireland, that the human rights first approach should be the blueprint for reshaping Ireland's international protection system. As a result of the war in the Ukraine, and it was unfortunate, it's not even strong enough word, but you made an announcement on that same day, as it turned out, that we were on target for delivering the white paper and the targets in it. Obviously, that hasn't happened. I welcome the structures you set up, the transition team and so on, but then they were taking away some of the members to deal with the Ukrainian. Are they now back? Are they now back? And can you just deal with what are we going to do as a policy issue now? Are we going to continue with a discriminatory system? Because I couldn't stand over that.
Our response to Ukraine is set out under EU law. Our response to them is set out in the Temporary Protection Directive, and we are working under that. In terms of a discriminatory response, I was in City West the week before last. The treatment of Ukrainians as they arrive into the country is identical to the treatment of international protection applicants as they arrive into the country. With all due respect, I was there. I saw what was happening on the ground. In terms of what happens next, absolutely. But that's not a determination of the Irish government. That is a determination of European law in terms of, with the greatest of respect, it is what is set out in the Temporary Protection Directive, and we're operating to fulfil the Temporary Protection Directive, and that was a decision of European Union law. But we continue to provide a full range of supports to people in the international protection system while we work to end direct provision.
I accept your restrictions, Minister, but I don't accept your analysis of it, but I'm outside of time.